Ju 11. Stop explaining yourself to those who caused you pain. There comes a time when someone who once meant the world to you, perhaps a friend, a confidant, ends up inflicting a pain you never saw coming. And when that betrayal settles in, many of us instinctively feel the need to explain ourselves, to give reasons, to offer clarity. But here's the truth. You owe them nothing. You don't need to rehearse your pain to someone who chose not to care the first time. You don't need to initiate a heart-to-heart, hoping they'll suddenly see the damage they've done. Often, the strongest move isn't confrontation, it's quiet distance. Walking away without a speech, without a scene, is one of the most powerful things you can do. It protects your peace, it preserves your dignity, and perhaps most importantly, it sets a clear boundary. You're no longer available to those who've disrespected your trust. They may come back, they may pretend nothing happened or even ask for favors. When that moment arrives, remember this: a simple, firm no is more than enough. You're not being rude, you're being clear. You're drawing a line that should have been respected long ago. Choosing not to engage in drama isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You're not responsible for teaching someone the lesson they refused to learn when they hurt you. Let life do that work. Trust that time has a way of revealing consequences. In the meantime, pour your energy into becoming a better, stronger, and wiser version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Let that guide you. Don't stoop to their level. Don't retaliate with bitterness or spite. Instead, let your growth be your response. Let your inner peace be your power. Ultimately, stepping away from those who bring you pain is not a sign of weakness. It's the first bold step toward healing. It's not just about protecting your heart. It's about respecting it. Life is too short to carry the weight of someone else's betrayal. Drop it. Move forward. And don't look back. Ju 22. Let go of unnecessary goals. In our pursuit of purpose, we often set ambitious goals, some born from passion, others from pressure. But as we grow and evolve, not all goals age well. Some lose relevance, some were never truly ours to begin with. Holding on to them simply because we once declared them out loud or because others expect us to, is a quiet form of self-betrayal. True wisdom lies in the ability to reassess, to look at a goal and ask, does this still serve who I am becoming? If the answer is no, the most courageous act might be to let it go, gracefully, quietly, and without the need for external approval. You don't need to announce every shift in direction. You're not obligated to update the world every time you pivot. In fact, the most powerful changes often happen in silence. They happen in your morning reflections, in the quiet decisions, made over a cup of tea, in the way you choose to spend your limited time. Letting go of a goal is not failure. It's realignment. It's a return to self. It creates space for pursuits that matter now, not 5 years ago, not in someone else's eyes, but here and now, in the present truth of your being. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have so little time, but that we waste so much." Chasing unnecessary goals is one of the ways we squander the precious currency of life. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. So take inventory. What are you chasing that no longer fuels you? What dream are you holding on to that has become a burden? When you let go of what's weighing you down, you rise. Not with noise, but with quiet certainty. Let your actions speak for you. Walk the path that feels aligned, not the one that merely looks impressive. And as you shed the old ambitions that no longer serve you, you'll begin to move with a clarity and peace that cannot be faked. That is the essence of intentional living. Ju 33. Stop oversharing the end of relationships. When a relationship ends, whether it's a friendship, a romantic bond, or a professional alliance, it often leaves behind a swirl of emotions: confusion, pain, anger, and sometimes relief. In those vulnerable moments, the urge to talk, to vent, to share the story with others is powerful. But what if the most healing act is silence? Oversharing, especially in the wake of emotional upheaval, doesn't offer true relief. It may feel validating in the short term, but it often invites unnecessary drama, misinterpretation, and prolonged pain. Every time we recount the details, who said what, who was right or wrong, we reopen wounds that were meant to heal. More importantly, sharing personal details from a relationship that once held intimacy, trust, and vulnerability dishonors that sacred space. Even if it ended badly, there was a time it mattered deeply. Choosing not to turn that into gossip or spectacle is a sign of maturity and self-respect. Processing pain doesn't require an audience. The most profound healing often happens in solitude, through reflection, journaling, therapy, or silent contemplation. When we resist the temptation to narrate our suffering for sympathy or attention, we create a safe inner space where true growth can occur. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is especially true during breakups or conflicts. We can't control what others did or how they remember the story, but we can control our response. So the next time you feel the need to tell your side of the story, ask yourself, is this about healing or is it about ego? Is this about clarity or control? Often the answer reveals a deeper truth, that your peace is more valuable than any temporary validation. Honor your past by letting it go quietly. Don't let pain become performance. Let it become transformation. Jiu 44. Mastering the art of calm. Stop raising your voice in anger. We've all experienced that moment. Your chest tightens, your pulse quickens, and anger bubbles to the surface. Maybe it's during a tense meeting, a heated family argument, or while navigating a difficult conversation. In those moments, raising your voice feels like the only way to be heard. But here's the paradox. The louder we speak, the less we're truly understood. Raising your voice doesn't make your point stronger. It makes your control weaker. When anger takes the wheel, clarity and respect are thrown out the window. The Stoics knew this well. Emotional control wasn't about suppression, it was about transformation. Imagine a stormy sea. The waves crash, the winds howl, but deep beneath, the ocean remains calm. That's what true composure looks like. It's not pretending you're not upset. It's choosing not to be ruled by the chaos inside you. Think about someone you've seen lose control publicly. Did they earn your respect? Probably not. Now think about someone who, even under pressure, kept their voice steady, their presence grounded. That's real strength. That's leadership. By lowering your voice instead of raising it, you regain power over the moment. You speak from a place of centered intention rather than reactive impulse. And in doing so, you shift the entire energy of the room. People lean in when words are measured and calm. They tune out when words are loud and laced with fury. Heraclitus once said, "To be even-minded is the greatest virtue." That virtue is tested not when life is easy, but when it challenges us most. It's in the heat of conflict, when you're tempted to erupt, that your restraint becomes your revolution. So next time the fire builds inside, pause. Breathe. Speak gently. Your calm isn't just admirable, it's disarming. It diffuses tension, commands respect, and models what it means to lead with wisdom instead of ego. Let others shout. Let others lose control. You, be the quiet storm. Let your silence echo louder than their noise. Jiu 55. Stop spreading negative opinions about others. It's easy, almost effortless, to slip into the habit of criticizing others. A casual remark, a whispered judgment, a quick text. It seems harmless in the moment. But negativity spreads like wildfire, and every unkind word leaves an imprint, not just on the person it targets, but on your own character. Think about the last time you heard someone badmouth another person. What was your impression of the speaker? Likely not admiration. More often than not, it breeds suspicion. If they say this about them, what do they say about me? When we speak ill of others, we trade integrity for fleeting validation. It might feel good for a moment, to vent, to bond with someone over shared disapproval, but in the long run, it erodes trust. People may laugh with you, but they won't confide in you. The Stoic mindset calls us to a higher standard. It asks us to recognize that everyone is fighting battles we cannot see. Choosing compassion over criticism isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It means resisting the urge to define people by their flaws and instead understanding them through the lens of empathy. This doesn't mean you must like everyone. It doesn't mean you have to excuse harmful behavior. But it does mean choosing silence when words would only wound, and choosing kindness when criticism is easy. Your words are a mirror. They reflect your values, your mindset, your inner peace. Speaking with grace, even when others don't, builds a reputation of trust and strength. It shows that you are grounded, not easily shaken by the behavior of others. The next time you're tempted to speak poorly of someone, pause. Ask yourself, is this kind? Is this necessary? Is this helpful? If not, perhaps the greatest strength is saying nothing at all. Let your legacy be one of dignity, not disdain. In a world full of noise and criticism, be a voice of respect, clarity, and calm. Ju 66. Free yourself from the trap of comparison. In the digital age, comparison is a silent thief, quiet, constant, and deeply corrosive. One scroll through social media and you're flooded with highlight reels, promotions, perfect vacations, flawless selfies. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your life against these curated snapshots. But the more you compare, the more disconnected you become from your own path. Every time you look sideways, wondering why someone else has more, does more, looks better, you diminish your own unique journey. The irony? You may be someone else's source of envy without even knowing it. We rarely see the whole picture. Behind every smiling post is a struggle unseen. The Stoics taught us to focus only on what we can control, and one thing we can absolutely govern is where we place our attention. Your energy is too valuable to waste on envy. Redirect it inward. Invest it in growth, in gratitude, in your own rhythm. Imagine living your life with full presence, celebrating your quirks, embracing your imperfections, and honoring your pace. You are not behind. You are not late. You are on your path. The beauty of your life lies not in comparison, but in authenticity. Celebrate the little wins. Mourn your losses, but don't let them define you. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should, and every step, even the painful ones, adds depth and character to your journey. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, control your perceptions, direct your actions properly, willingly accept. What is outside your control? You cannot control others' lives or their timelines, but you can own yours completely. So the next time comparison creeps in, pause, breathe, return to your center. You are not meant to live someone else's story. You are here to live yours fully and unapologetically. Ju 77. Break free from mindless social media. Use social media is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it connects us, informs us, and inspires us. On the other, it quietly chips away at our attention, our peace, and our sense of self-worth. Without intention, it becomes a digital trap, a place where hours vanish, comparisons thrive, and true presence fades. Ask yourself, how often do you reach for your phone not out of need but out of habit? A moment of boredom, a whisper of anxiety, a need to escape the present. The scroll begins innocently enough, but soon you're lost in someone else's world, forgetting your own. The Stoics believed that a life of purpose required conscious attention to how we spend our time. Seneca warned that it's not that life is too short, it's that we waste so much of it. Every minute spent mindlessly, scrolling is a minute not spent building, reflecting, connecting, or simply being. Reclaiming control starts with awareness. Set boundaries around your usage. Designate time blocks for intentional engagement and keep your phone away when you want to be truly present. When you feel the urge to scroll, pause. Ask yourself, is this nourishing me or distracting me? Create space in your day for silence, for solitude, for real conversations. Rediscover the joys of being in your own company, reading, walking, thinking. You don't need to broadcast every moment. Not everything needs an audience. Some of the most beautiful parts of life happen when no one is watching. Your life is not a feed. It's not a story for likes. It's a rich, unfolding experience that deserves your full attention. Don't trade real moments for digital illusions. Be here now. Use social media, yes, but use it with purpose. Let it serve you, not enslave you. Zhu 88. Let go of the need for external validation. Imagine living your life as though you're on stage. Every move calculated, every word rehearsed, every decision weighed against what others might think. For many, this isn't imagination. It's reality. We live under the spotlight of social approval, constantly seeking validation to feel worthy, accepted, and seen. But the cost is heavy. Living for applause slowly erodes our authenticity. We start shaping our identity not around who we are, but around who we think others want us to be. Over time, our sense of self becomes a mirror, reflecting everyone else's expectations, but showing nothing true of ourselves. The Stoics taught that inner peace comes from within, not from the shifting opinions of the crowd. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This contradiction lies at the heart of our suffering. Letting go of the need for external validation is not easy. It requires deep self-awareness and the courage to be misunderstood. But in doing so, we create space for real self-acceptance, a quiet confidence that isn't shaken by others' approval or rejection. Start by asking yourself, why am I doing this? Is it to please others or to honor yourself? Align your actions with your values. Speak your truth, even when it's unpopular. And surround yourself with people who support the real you, not the version you perform for acceptance. Celebrate your wins no matter how small. Learn from your failures without shame, and understand that you are enough, not because others say so, but because you decide so. Your worth isn't measured by likes, applause, or attention. It's measured by your integrity, your growth, and your ability to live in alignment with your values. When you stop chasing approval, you start reclaiming freedom, the freedom to be unapologetically, powerfully yourself. Zhu 99. Release the burden of perfectionism. Perfectionism wears many disguises. It can look like ambition, like high standards, like discipline. But beneath the surface, it often masks fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. The desire to be flawless can paralyze us, trapping us in cycles of procrastination, anxiety, and self-criticism. We think we need to be perfect to be worthy. But perfection is a moving target, one that's always just out of reach. The Stoics remind us that it's not perfection, but progress that matters. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Growth is a slow, uneven, and often messy process. Instead of striving to be perfect, strive to be excellent. Do your best with what you have, where you are. Excellence allows for humanity. It honors effort over outcome. It welcomes learning through mistakes. Perfectionism makes us brittle. One setback can shatter our sense of self. But when we accept that imperfection is part of the journey, we become resilient. We bounce back stronger, wiser, more compassionate with ourselves and others. Practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend. Notice your inner critic and gently challenge its voice. Instead of, I should have done better, try, I did the best I could and I'm learning. Celebrate the process, not just the results. Each misstep, each revision, each small win is evidence that you're growing. Let that be enough. You are not here to impress. You are here to evolve. Let go of the illusion of flawlessness. Embrace the beauty of being, real, raw, and in progress. That's where true strength lies, not in being perfect, but in being whole. GU 10:10. Let go of unrealistic expectations. We often begin our journeys with bright visions, perfect relationships, flawless success, a life that unfolds exactly as imagined. But life, in all its unpredictability, rarely follows the scripts we write. And when reality doesn't align with fantasy, disappointment sets in. Not because life failed us, but because our expectations did. Unrealistic expectations are silent saboteurs. They set us up for frustration, not fulfillment. They turn beautiful, imperfect moments into perceived failures. They poison relationships, where we demand perfection instead of connection. And they distort self-worth, telling us we're behind, broken, or not enough. The Stoics understood that peace comes not from controlling the world, but from adjusting our lens. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca observed. Expectations are imagined futures, and the more rigid they are, the more likely they'll crumble under life's weight. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering control over outcomes we can't dictate. It means showing up with presence, embracing what is, and finding meaning in what unfolds, even when it looks different than we hoped. Set intentions, not ultimatums. Replace "this must happen" with "I will do my best." This subtle shift frees you to engage fully without being enslaved by outcome. It also means allowing people, including yourself, to be human, to make mistakes, to fall short, to grow. You are not here to live a perfect life. You are here to live a full one. When you release unrealistic expectations, you make room for wonder. You begin to notice the beauty in the unexpected, the joy in the imperfect, the strength in simply continuing. So let go. Not of hope, but of control. Not of dreams, but of demands. And watch how life begins to meet you, not with perfection, but with possibility. Geo 10:10. Let go of unrealistic expectations. We often begin our journeys with bright visions, perfect relationships, flawless success, a life that unfolds exactly as imagined. But life, in all its unpredictability, rarely follows the scripts we write. And when reality doesn't align with fantasy, disappointment sets in. Not because life failed us, but because our expectations did. Unrealistic expectations are silent saboteurs. They set us up for frustration, not fulfillment. They turn beautiful, imperfect moments into perceived failures. They poison relationships, where we demand perfection instead of connection. And they distort self-worth, telling us we're behind, broken, or not enough. The Stoics understood that peace comes not from controlling the world, but from adjusting our lens. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca observed. Expectations are imagined futures, and the more rigid they are, the more likely they'll crumble under life's weight. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering control over outcomes we can't dictate. It means showing up with presence, embracing what is, and finding meaning in what unfolds, even when it looks different than we hoped. Set intentions, not ultimatums. Replace "this must happen" with "I will do my best." This subtle shift frees you to engage fully without being enslaved by outcome. It also means allowing people, including yourself, to be human, to make mistakes, to fall short, to grow. You are not here to live a perfect life. You are here to live a full one. When you release unrealistic expectations, you make room for wonder. You begin to notice the beauty in the unexpected, the joy in the imperfect, the strength in simply continuing. So let go, not of hope, but of control, not of dreams, but of demands. And watch how life begins to meet you, not with perfection, but with possibility.